All right, today we're going to be checking out some caves.
The most dangerous cave
Get right
system
into
in the world. This group of like 10, they're going to go explore this cave, and it takes like 12 hours to explore, like get to the bottom or whatever and come back up. There's this one passage. The average width and height is 10 inches, and the width is 2 feet.
I'm suing.
And so the only way you can get through it, they say you literally have to use your fingertips to scoot yourself through this.
Never.
Listen to this. And it was getting too extreme for some of the cave divers or cave dwellers. And so like 4 of them came back up.
Okay.
And the rest are like, yeah, we're going to go finish the route or whatever. And so one of the ladies, her husband was one of the guys that stayed. It started to sprinkle a little bit when she was up there. They were supposed to exit the cave at midnight, and it was 9 o'clock. So they're making their way back through the passage, that really hard passage, and it started to like torrential downpour, and it immediately flooded the whole cave. Like after they were able to get the water out, they found all those dudes stuck in that passage. One dude was able to find an air hole.
Oh my
And so they
goodness.
literally found him like this, but it had just filled out up like past his nose.
And he died?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. That's terrible. That's so sad.
Caves are dumb.
Caves are the worst.
I hate caves.
I agree. I don't understand why you want to put yourself in this place. Like, a human's not meant to be shoving themselves in there, and like, it'd be way too claustrophobic for that. Caves aren't that bad. I love caves. Now, crawling on your fingertips in a space barely big enough for you, different story. Yeah, but also I don't like caves, so no. I also hate caves, not worth it. Yeah, no cave exploration for me, especially a cramped space. It's nuts. Yeah. I love checking out caves, but I don't go in anything I can't comfortably walk through. I would avoid it altogether. Only thing worse than a cave is an underwater cave. Yeah, that's true. I hate the sea and all the ocean, all that stuff too. So those two combined, definitely worst nightmare for me.
This fucking guy took 8 novice spelunkers to a cave. So just let that sink in. 8 novice spelunkers. All right? They start going down the cave already. What the fuck? That is a choice. That is one of the decisions of all time. Once they get down there, he's like, hey, the water here is a little bit higher than normal. A little bit higher being 34 feet high. 34 feet. That's like several tall men on top of each other. He says, we should keep going. What the fuck? You got down there. You were like, damn, this water is a lot higher than normal. And you kept going with your 8 novice spelunkers. You could have turned around here. Once you did that little fucking human centipede shit all the way in the water, you could have just turned back and gone right up that rope. But no, they fucking kept going. They kept going. And now they're all probably gonna fucking die.
Wow. And the tunnels are always named something like Satan's birth canal. Yeah, novice spelunkers absolutely destroyed me. Using spelunkers like a slur. This reminds me of a lady on this app warning us that men will get people killed when in charge of outdoorsy type things like this and river rafting. I guess, yeah, depending on the guy and, not really realizing the limits of some people, especially if they're novice, and you've been doing it, you maybe it doesn't compute to some people, that they're just not on your level. Girl, I'm 27 years old. If I have to do anything that includes me getting into human centipede position, I'm not going.
Yes, hello, it's Spooky Lake Month where we're doing 31 days of haunted hydrology. Today, I want to talk about the deepest known cave in the world and an expedition there that ended in disaster. This mountain range next to the Black Sea is home to 4 of the deepest known cave systems in the world. And the Veryovkina Cave is located inside one of these mountains. So explorers have to hike over 7,000 feet to reach the entrance. Fewer people have been inside this cave than on the International Space Station, and it usually takes around a week to reach the lake at the bottom. And that's because it's over 7,257 feet deep, which is deeper than Lake Baikal. In 2018, National Geographic photographers accompanied a Russian expedition to explore the labyrinth of the Veryovkina Cave. These explorers had to descend thousands of feet using rope, crawl through waterlogged tunnels, and squeeze through improbable cracks with their gear. There are different campsites along the route that explorers stop at as they descend to the bottom. 7 days in, the team had made their way to the lowest camp, situated near this underground lake. At this point, 2 of the group had to leave early, so they began their ascent back to the surface. As these 2 made their way to the campsite halfway up the cave, they suddenly heard roaring water thundering through the cave around them. Heavy rain was beginning to burst through the cave opening, so the explorers closer to the surface radioed to the team at the bottom. While cavers are used to dealing with flood pulses, this situation got dangerous very quickly. A freight train of floodwater was tearing through this dark chasm with a deafening roar. The team had to climb over a mile of vertical rope while a raging waterfall poured around them. They had managed to find their way to a safer campsite close to the surface as the floodwaters continued to rumble and shake the ground beneath them. The rain and the flood pulse ended up lasting for over 20 hours. When the photographers looked back at this moment, they realized it was a miracle they all made it out alive. However, Veryovkina Cave has claimed at least 1 victim. The same team of Russians returned to this cave in 2021. They found a rope near the mouth of the cave, which was incredibly strange for this remote location. 3,600 feet below the surface, they discovered the body of a Russian tourist. Alone, he made his way partway down the cave system where he camped for a week. He ended up dying of hypothermia on an expedition to reach the lower levels. However, recovering a decomposing corpse from a tight cave system is incredibly dangerous because of the gases that the body releases. The rescue team had to dismember his corpse to be able to remove it from the cave system. So for the deepest known subterranean labyrinth which has claimed human life, 9 out of 10 spookies.
Yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for me. That's wild. Like, first of all that is just wild, but especially wild for that guy to go by himself and be in there for like a week. Like, dude, what are you doing? Like, a week in this crazy cave? Like, I can't even fathom being in there like that by yourself with your thoughts, and I would just freak myself out too much, like thinking about cave people and monsters and, like, hell no, dude. Like, what? No, thank you. I'll stick to above ground lakes. Can we just talk about those Net Geo wild photographers that are doing everything then cave divers are doing, but no training and with camera equipment? Yeah, that's wild to do all that and bring all your gear with you, and then you got to go and set up and get a shot, Can you explain more about the gases the body would release? No, thank you. But yeah, that's crazy. And then they have to cut up that body and then bring that up with you in pieces.
There was a man who went by the name Earl John Brewer, said that there was this cave that was in Utah, held different artifacts from an ancient, technologically advanced civilization. In fact, giants in this cave. The natives called this cave the Cave of the Great Spirit, and then discovered all these ancient copper tablets that had weird inscriptions on them. But people just started like, okay, John Brewer, you're full of crap. Like, tell us where this is. He's like, I won't, because a couple years before that was the Lovelock Cave incident, right? And that's where the Smithsonian came in. Yeah. All of a sudden, the bones disappeared. In fact, he told this man one day,
that's what the Smithsonian seems to always be doing, just taking stuff and you never see it again, I
was walking to the cave, and all of a sudden there's 3 men standing, and they said, we want to show you our city. Brought John Brewer to this underground city, and John Brewer said it was the most technologically advanced civilization that he's ever seen. He says they were able to speak telepathically as well. He said then they just walked and it disappeared, and then the entrance to their city disappeared too. But he brought these copper tablets at BYU, radiocarbon dated this bark. He said with the radiocarbon age of 5 BC to 390 BC is indeed ancient. And people are like, yo, you're full of crap.
The hellhole is in Santa Cruz. We know nothing. Yeah. I mean, I definitely believe there's some, weird stuff going on in these caves. Like, I don't know about, maybe advanced civilizations. Who knows, bro? Who knows?
Timeline of history, it's either mocked and labeled a con, or they do this. So in 2011, Russian cave explorer Arthur Zemyukov made a wild discovery in the region of North Caucasus in Russia. At the top of the Kara-Hora mountain range, he found something that revealed an unwritten chapter of human history. At first, it just seemed like a deep hole leading into a cave formation inside the mountain, so he decided to check it out himself, and as he went down this narrow vertical opening, he started to notice this wasn't any regular cave shaft. On his descent, he saw massive parallel stone blocks, polished flat and perfectly geometrically aligned with each other. We're talking straight edges, right angles, and intricately chiseled formations that indicated this definitely wasn't natural, it was engineered. Him and his team explored deeper and found out that this shaft was so much beyond our understanding than he ever thought. This is the Kara-Hora shaft, and I don't care what anyone says, someone, like an intelligent being, clearly made this. Inner passageways with perfectly straight, polished walls going down 40 meters into the mountain, leading into a larger chamber with 36-meter-high ceilings filled with enormous megalithic slabs fitted together and arranged in perfect alignment with each other, like they were intentionally placed there, with some blocks appearing to be up to 200 tons, and nothing can explain how anyone would have moved these stone megaliths into this narrow shaft. The total distance from the very top of the shaft down to the lowest part of the explored chamber was around 100 meters, about the height of a 25-story building, and there appeared to be more tunnels and chambers below that went even deeper into the mountain, which are still undiscovered. Clearly an artificial construction of a monumental scale, an absolute groundbreaking find by any means. And as per usual, absolutely no historic records of any structure like this documented anywhere in this region. The team...
Yeah, of course. They're definitely hiding some stuff, dude. Like, what do you think it is, though? Like, advanced civilization, but it's so big, too. Like, well, I don't know. I mean, giants, you know, maybe they had advanced equipment to be able to move this stuff around or cut it or just cut it right into the rock. You know, who knows?
Even filmed their exploration for a Russian TV documentary, mapping out the shaft to reveal its true detailed architecture, with block arrangements that looked incredibly similar to the ones found in the Grand Gallery of the Great Pyramid of Khufu in Egypt. It also features several tunnels that don't seem to have been designed to be accessed by humans, just like we see in the Egyptian pyramids. No ladders, stairs, or any easily accessible means of traversing many of these passageways. Even small side tunnels that no human can fit through, and oddly enough, the team felt a constant draft of air blowing up into the chamber from deeper underground, suggesting this wasn't built for habitation, but rather some sort of other functional purpose. Possibly a subterranean complex of another larger structure that used to exist on top of the mountain. Perhaps the endemic timeline of history.
Well, like even more stuff. It goes even bigger if you go underneath that. That's part of Earth's central air system. That's funny. It's the worst one too. Hoist the colors high. Heave ho, no thank you at all. Gonna go down into it?
Now some have died and some are alive, and others sail on the sea.
Like steps and caves that are like covered with water and stuff now. I don't like that.
What you say, the cave system in this country is suspicious as shit.
Yeah.
Look at these two maps side by side. The cave system matches up perfectly to the missing 411 phenomenon.
Oh, yeah.
Missing 411 is when people go missing in national parks under mysterious circumstances and they never turn up. I'm talking dogs try to find them and they lose the scent out of nowhere. It's like they just disappeared. Now, I'm not saying that these people wandered into a cave and found a portal. What I'm saying is that throughout the national park, we also have Bigfoot sightings. Look at these two maps. If Bigfoot is an interdimensional creature going back and forth through portals, you would think humans may stumble across these portals occasionally, and that's
like so like opposite of what I think of when I think of like Bigfoot, you know, like interdimensional. You don't think of like a Bigfoot being advanced in any type of way, like technological, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
That's where we have missing 411 come into play. I'm just saying, why don't they keep a detailed, comprehensive list of anyone that goes missing inside of a national park? They don't. Google it, okay? They do not keep a comprehensive list of everyone that goes missing inside of the national park. David Paulides, the creator of Missing 411, has for years been trying to get a list of everyone that's missing. We don't know. Thousands go missing every single year in national parks. This is just the tip of the iceberg, babe.
Yeah, no thank you to going to a national park. Don't trust it. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a list of supernatural creatures and sightings that the government has to keep track of them but won't release it. Yeah. Like that list has Bigfoot sightings, mermaids, portals to different worlds, and things like that. I would love to know what they know. We'll never know what they know. Whatever they decide to tell us, that's probably like at the very lowest tier compared to, what they probably know what's going on. My husband found a hole near our house and he never heard the rock hit the bottom. Ugh. He didn't remember where it is. We live in the mountains. He said he would have stepped into it if he wasn't looking. It was 2 feet around. He don't remember where it is, so I just imagine a huge mammoth cave under us. That's creepy. That's creepy too, thinking about sinkholes, like big old sinkholes opening up. It's like another fear of mine if I think about it. But the government has a list somewhere with aliens. Yep. Our caves in southwest Missouri will take you everywhere. They're massive, extremely long and deep. Pattern recognition, hyperfixation, say what? This makes zero sense. I mean, they line up. What are you going to say about that? They still line up, like people missing in the cave systems. I mean, come on. I'm not going to lie. I truly believe this too. The portals, it sounds insane, but I believe it. Not all missing 411 go missing often. They are found weeks/months later where the search parties have already covered, or they are found with weird causes of death. Yeah, definitely something going on. Aliens abducting us, doing what they want, and then tossing them back out. Werewolves. I don't know. Who knows? It's something I would like to find out. Not ever in person, of course, obviously, but it's always interesting to look into. And I for sure will not be going to any national parks. Yeah, I'll just watch videos about all that stuff because it gives me the creeps. But anyways, guess that's where I'll end it. I will see you guys in another one later.